Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started. Hey, my beautiful souls. Well, welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am so thrilled to have you here with me today as we reflect on our incredible journey through our November series, Living Life Abundantly. Well, this month we've shared empowering stories and actionable insights, as well as transformative ideas on about how to embrace abundance in every aspect of our lives. Well, today's episode is all about looking back and celebrating the wisdom that we shared by some of our amazing guests and highlighting key takeaways that you can carry forward on your journey of self-love and personal growth. But first, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to start with a nice grounded meditation, and then we're going to go into those takeaways, all right? It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back. What are some common barriers that prevent people from expressing? Hey, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here from the Season of Self-Love podcast.
Yeah, I would say remorse. So shame and guilt is a very dividing emotional.
And these are one of the many amazing conversations that we have every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Season of Self-Love podcast with myself, Nyomi Banks, as well as our resident therapist, Dr. Will Washington of Washington Wellness Institute. Come by.
The reality of our relationships with people.
Come by.
And a lot of times we're afraid of how people look at us. And so that compassion can't enter.
You can hit us on our website,
really
the Season of Self-Love podcast.com. Let me ask you this, with the truth, is it... Hey, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more, by bridging the gap between them all. And we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by. Me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG crew. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to xnyomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you. All right, welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. Again, I'm your host, Nyomi Banks. In this month, we're talking about living life abundantly. And today's episode is all about looking back and celebrating the wisdom that we shared. But first, let's ground ourselves with a short guided meditation just to center our minds and prepare us for the reflection, all right? So I want to take a moment just to find a comfortable position. Either you're sitting or standing, all right? So I ask that you all just close your eyes. So now take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it for a moment. Now exhale slowly through your mouth. I want you to picture a warm golden light surrounding you, filling you with love and warmth and abundance. Now with each breath, I want you to breathe in and invite positivity into your life. And with each breath out, I want you to release any negativity or any tension. Let this golden light grow brighter and feel it wrapping around you, protecting and uplifting you. Now take one more deep breath in and exhale. Now, whenever you are ready, gently open your eyes and let's dive in. All right? All right, and if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, this is something that we do every day, Monday through Friday, where we help ground ourselves before we get into the topic at hand. All right, so this month has been nothing short of inspiring. We had the honor of welcoming some incredible guests who shared their unique journeys and insight about living abundantly. So let's take a moment to reflect on some powerful conversations that we had. So let's start it off with Dr. Michele Hanna, and she spoke about the transformative power of self-love and the importance of setting boundaries. And one thing she said that stayed with us is boundaries are not walls to keep others out, but bridges to build and help you to meet others on a healthy terms. Was something that I loved about that episode was that she was so honest and real and raw and vulnerable in that moment that even she was able to have a real raw testimony with us at that time and just share some moments with us. Even after the show, she shared something with me that she was able to go and begin writing her book. Amazing. She actually got to 9 chapters. So we will be inviting her back next year to promote her book. But it was amazing to be a part of that journey, just a little part, even if it was a piece of it, that we here at the Season of Self-Love was able to be a part of it, but also see it, hear it, feel it. It was a moving episode. It truly was. And when we left that connection, I felt full. And I pray that all of you felt full in that instant. The next one that I want to talk about is our resident therapist, Dr. Will. You know, he's been so busy lately, which is a blessing, but he had time to stop by and we talked about music. I remember that episode so well because I specifically chose that episode for him because knowing that he is a man of art. He is a musician. He does so many different things. He plays so many different instruments, but I know that is a part of his language. That is part of his love language. That is a part of his spiritual languages with his music. And music as being the heart of his conversation, he reminded us of a healing power of creativity and how tapping into our artistic side can lead to an emotional abundance. So again, that is a privilege that we have, to having Dr. Will with us here at the Season of Self-Love, that he can show us that there's so many ways of healing when it comes to us tapping into our own spirituality and in our own gifts, as well as a beautiful Catherine Giovanni. With Catherine, this was such an amazing connection that we had, not only on the show but also after the show. Catherine Giovanni, what I found out after the show is that she was a medium. I did not know that. And if anybody knows me, I am a very spiritual person. And she connected with me in so many different ways. As through the whole show, she was saying words as Giovanni is John for, that's in Italian. John is my dad's name. And she kept saying Aunt Martha. She doesn't know her Aunt Martha. Not at all. Martha is my grandmother's name, my father's mother. So throughout the process, there are things happening in my studio. The lights blinking. There's things, the spiritual energy is working through there. But she had actually gave me a message at the end of the show that even throughout this whole forgiveness episode that we had, there was messages in there for myself and my sister, and it was so moving. It was so moving. And when I tell you that even when I went back to edit it, I was like, wow. I heard it then while doing it, but when I went back to edit, I was like, wow. These are things and moments that I needed in my life. So I knew that exactly that I was aligned to be here in that moment. So it's so moving for me. So I know that it was just the cherry on the top of things. You know what I'm saying? So the thing was that Catherine taught us the importance of forgiveness, not just for others, but for ourselves. And in her step-by-step process for forgiving the unforgivable, it was just so eye-opening. It was so eye-opening. And Marie Elisa, this one right here, when I say I felt every emotion that she spoke of the love of her life. From every moment that she spoke of the love of her life. But the thing is, her finding joy after the loss truly touched my heart. She reminded us that even in the darkest of time, we can find light and create abundance of lives. I love how she redescribed on what grief is. She found joy. She found life in grief. And she showed us how we can live abundantly even after our loved ones are gone on this earth. It was such an amazing transfer of energy that we had right here on this very stage. And it was amazing. It's so funny. I remember sharing with you at the beginning of the month how I was so unprepared to be sitting here with this series. I didn't know that this series was going to turn out this way. I did not know. I did not know. But I also remember how challenging it was for me to get this series together last month in October. I remember. And usually it'd go boom, 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 boom. But then that brought me to the book of Change Your Life, Change Your Paradigm. Change your paradigm, change your life. Yeah. October 17th, I believe, is when that book was revealed to me. I believe it was October 17th or 18th, one of those days. It was revealed to me. And since then, I've been listening to that book every day. Every day I've been listening to that book. And it allowed me to sit here authentically with this series. It allowed me to sit here with the guests. Majority of these guests that I have this month, literally, I interviewed this month. It's just a few of them that I interviewed a few months ago, but majority of them, seriously, when I say they just dropped in right when they were supposed to. Right when they were supposed to. How I schedule everything. This was scheduled for myself and Dr. Will to be sitting here talking with you about all of these things. And God in the universe was like, girl, you can't sit there talking about because you ain't did all of that. So now I have to align you with people that's going to be on there to be able to do all of those things because you ain't even ready for all of that. But guess what? I'm about to get you ready. And it's going to be authentic. And your listeners, they're going to relate to this. It's going to resonate with them. And it's how we're going to do it. And that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. So let's talk about our guest for this week. As we wrap up this month, I'm excited to share a sneak peek into the upcoming episodes of amazing guests that's joining us this week. Vasu Tolia. I still can't pronounce her last name, but she's a beautiful young lady. Vasu will share how she bridges the world of art and medicine, showing us how creativity and healing go hand in hand. And when I say when you all listen to this show coming up this week, amazing. She had this amazing painting that was behind her that kept catching my attention. It had all of my beautiful colors, all of the colors that I love. All of the colors of my essence was right there in the back of her. She didn't know that. But that picture just kept talking to me, just kept calling me. And actually, after that, she has a nice little gift for all of our listeners, but that's later on this week. And then there was another amazing guest that I actually had the honor to interview a few months ago, and that's Dr. Michele Madeline with her book, Through My Eyes. And she offers a raw and real look at her personal experience. And I can't wait for you to share her perspective in finding abundance amidst the challenges. But also, I had the chance to, as I say when I'm with Dr. Will, to sit on her couch, to lay on her couch. Yes, I'm always ready for a correcting. And she gave it to me, and I took it willingly and able. These are moments that we feel real raw, and we are able to be adjusted by those that know more. Like I said, I have always been ready to step in those rooms, that I'm always willing to learn. I'm ready to learn. I am a forever learner. Well, say I'm always learning, a forever learner, always teaching. That's what I say. And then we're going to end it off with Miss Roni Robbins. Roni's resilient stories will inspire you to recognize the abundance in your own life when times are tough. And in this amazing story right here, you're going to hear a lot in this one. You're going to hear a lot in this story. There's going to be some aha moments, and there's going to be some moments in here in time we're going to say, Naomi, did you really say that? Naomi, did you really do that? And I think that's the time when I feel like Spirit came in and moved in ways that I didn't even think that Spirit would move in that episode. Yeah, in that episode. And I don't want to tell too much, but this week has truly been an amazing week of things. And I know it's a holiday week. Thanksgiving is coming up in the next few days. And I'm just excited for everything that's happening. And I hope that you all are excited that I am for these upcoming conversations. But also, before we close, I want to talk about the 10-day book challenge real quick. This has been such an amazing journey in growth and reflection of Bob Proctor's book, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And it has taught us so much about shifting our mindset to create the lives that we desire. We have finished this, we have finished this challenge last Wednesday, and it has been great. I commend everybody that came into this challenge to share their insights, that rocked with me every day, that did the extra the extra exercises that I put in. Some were fun, some were challenging, and I got a few text messages this week that that people are now aware of their paradigm and understand the process. And what I've been learning this past weekend is that we all have these inner battles that we're working with right now, especially when you are in the known. Now that you are awakening, now that you're in the known. And I want you all to know is that this is where you're supposed to be. And I also want you to know is that it's not supposed to be pretty. Because right now you are unveiling those toxic things. You are removing those things out of your life. And that comment of you, they don't want to do that. But this is where you want to be of the known. But as I was listening to it this morning, it also reminded me is that you always want to be changing your paradigm. It's like you don't want to be comfortable all the time. Changing your paradigm, it means growth. And that continue to stay with me. It means growth. So if I'm feeling icky because something comes up, I want that to come up. I want that to come up. I want to clean it. I want it to come up. Then I ain't got to worry about it no more. But if it's still a little bit back there and it comes up, then I'm able to know how to clean it up. You understand? Now I know why it blocked me from this or why it's blockage from that. And that's what I did love about it. I love that the people that came in and participated, that they shared some amazing things that they resonated with that book. And if you are listening right now and you haven't gotten the book, you can either get it on Audible or either on Amazon, and I'll have a link in our show notes as well. But it's an amazing book. It's an amazing book, and with the Audible, it's more of just like an interview. See, the thing is that this the only way that you would see this, hear this, is that you had to went to a seminar of his. That's where this comes from. It's actually like a seminar of his. And I guess this was actually done after a seminar. So it wasn't like he didn't sit down and type it and write it up. But it's an amazing one because, I wasn't old enough to truly know who he was. I didn't know who he was until the book came to me. And that's the honest to God truth. Since I got him, I've just been listening to everything and everything. I even went back to listen to Until There's, oh my God. Man, the guest that I had on Mark on Friday, that guest reminded me after we got off the show, and he said, so I should read Unto the Soul. And I said, yeah, but it was so out of the blue when he said that to me. And it was like he looked at me with a wink. And I was like, yeah, but something said, you need to go back to that book. And then I realized that I still had 3 more chapters to read that I hadn't. I go back to this book and found out there was a message in there for me. Yes. So when I say right here, this is it. Yeah. If you read Bob Proctor's Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, and he's talking about things are in a line. He's talking about things that flow and move. Yeah. When he's talking about when things don't feel like they moving right and it all kind of things, that means that ain't supposed to be happening. That means you got to change something. That means that's not it. But when I say that things been moving right here, this is it. That's how I knew something was going on in October that wasn't right with me trying to sit down and finish that ebook and me trying to, it just wasn't nothing happening. And it's like, what's happening? And I cried out that prayer, and less than a few hours later, my sister tell me to go get this book because someone walked into her store. And the lady said, I don't even know why I'm here. And my sister called me and told me, and wow. And we just go from there. Just go from there. And then after that, things start flowing. Then here comes these new, guests that come on like, wow, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And some of the things that these guests said on these shows, they wasn't looking to say any of these things on the show. They were looking to promote their book or promote this. That's the thing. That's how amazing this platform is. When I tell you I'm sitting here right now, I'm of everything that's been happening just in this past few months, but in this past few months, because I am awake, I am paying attention, I am looking, my paradigm is changing, and I am open to receive. And I pray, my listeners, that you are doing the same. I pray as we say that you are taking actionable steps to your better life for you, the betterment of you. So then you can be the betterment of someone else, a loved one, a friend, a family member. So you can be having your healing moments. You understand what I'm saying? Wow. Yeah. Again, I want to thank everyone who have participated in that and that shared their experience in that private community. It's beautiful. And we're going to do this every month, starting back in January. We're back with a new book. So next month, I will definitely be sharing that, be promoting it coming up in December. So be on the lookout for that. This month it has truly been incredible. It has truly been an incredible month. From the wisdom of our guests to the insights and from the book challenge. November has been the testament to the power of self-love and abundance. So here's my challenge to you. I want y'all to reflect on what abundance means in your life. Is it financial stability? Is it a fulfilling relationship? Or is it simply a peaceful mind? Whatever it is, take one small step this week to nurture that abundance. And next month, we will be diving into new themes and welcoming more amazing guests. And I can't wait to continue this journey with all of you. Again, I want to thank you for joining me today. And throughout this month, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and connect with me on social media. So until next time, remember to embrace the abundance that's always within you. Have an amazing day. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love Podcast, Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer. Have a good one.